cool on your end. It feels really weird to be.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. I'm glad that we decided to meet up. It's been a long time.
So what are you getting up to these days?
I'm living with the Spanish guy now.
Good. Whereabouts?
So I'll just turn that down a bit while I continue to narrate it. What you're seeing here is a project called the isophone. It's basically a telephone combined with a flotation tank. You put on a helmet that blocks out your vision. We float you in some water that's the same temperature as your skin, so your sense of touch goes away. You can't taste anything or smell anything either. So basically you have total sensory deprivation. The only thing that exists for you is the voice of the other person that you're communicating with somewhere else in the world. They might be doing the same thing. So that's the concept. That was work that was done by James Auger and Jimmy Loiseau. And the reason it has these three bulbs is so that you could actually float there, so that your head was kind of kept above water so you could actually breathe and talk. And we actually made special tanks to do kind of experiments with this. So you could kind of consider this as almost equating to the type of telephone box, except you have to climb up a ladder here and put on your swimming trunks and go in there. And you can't obviously dial the phone in there, so you have to speak to an operator and have them take care of the phone call for you. And as if that wasn't enough, we actually took this another step further, and we made a fully underwater version, so that you're actually completely underwater, using underwater headphones, which have very high-quality sound, and an underwater mask that sort of covers your nose and mouth and allows you to speak with that microphone there. And that was kind of the full realization of that concept. And it might seem crazy taking that to an extreme like that, but we really learned a lot, I think, from that experience about how the form of a communication device affects the kind of communication that can happen on it. And people did have very different kinds of conversations using this kind of device. For example, they lost track of time. We found that people would go in there for half an hour and they would think it was only 5 minutes, or vice versa. They tend to gesture more. Like if you're on the phone, you might gesture with one hand. But in this, when you were sort of completely unencumbered, you'd be gesturing with your arms and feet, moving all around that little pool, which was quite interesting. And there were also no conversation anchors, really. So people would tend to go off on tangents in their conversation. And people came out telling us that they felt like they were being more creative than they normally would be, which was very interesting. So it suggests that maybe you can create a communication device in which people are more creative or less creative. There are all sorts of things that you could imagine there. And maybe it wouldn't be, put in your business or in your home. You could imagine variations on this, or like an iso chair or whatever. But I think what we're trying to do here is suggest again that the form of the communication device can affect the tone of the conversation, and maybe even the outcome of the conversation. For example, it might be possible to imagine creating a phone that would start a war, or that would cause two people to fall in love. It's maybe not out of the realm